What's up, guys? Today we're coming at you with another webisode of bodybuilding. Today we are out here with the trencher. I had to rent a trench because we had to get out there, as you see right here, and do a little trenching for the first time ever in my life. Man, this was pretty fun. I trenched for like 8 to 10 hours, man, until I was starting, guys, to actually pull muscles in my hands. My thumb actually went back, because I just was, when I say went back, I pulled a Charlie horse because I'm sure all of my minerals was gone because I was working for like 8 to 10 hours. I had to trench probably about 1,300 feet, all of my land, for me and my neighbors in the church, because they were at work. So I said, hey, I'm gonna love my neighbors, as I love myself, so that they can just come out and lay their pipe down there. So me and my wife came out here and we laid about 300 or more feet of plumbing pipe to our mobile home, because we're not going to let the plumbers charge us all of this money. Now, I did have a plumber come and plumb the rest of everything under my house, because I wanted to make sure that all of the money that I invested in the septic system, that I did not waste it to a sewage problem. It's not that I could not have done it, but I learned, I asked a lot of questions, and I gained a lot of experience, and now I'll be able to do it myself next time. So praise the Most High for that. So as you see here, I'm trenching, having a lot of fun. Like I said, I was trenching until I was numb. It was nighttime. I was hoping any snakes was not out there. But anyway, my water wheel is right there, so I'm trenching very close to my water wheel, running that on the back of the fence line, so that we can just run a T to each person's house, to their mobile home or whatever they got, whatever they're getting or whatever. So we're working out here. The whole time I was out there, guys, eating blackberries as I was trenching. I would stop the trencher, but it would stay on. I would just get off, eat a blackberry, get off, eat a blackberry. But right now I'm getting off because I realized, guys, that I split a line. I did not know a line was right there, because the foreman who works for the company that we bought the land from, he did not tell me that a line was right there. And I found out after a while that that line was actually going to our water wheel. I was like, oh Lord. So that was just pretty frustrating. I didn't get too mad at myself. I said, you know what? Either I'm going to call an electrician to fix it, or I'm going to fix it myself. I do not have experience really in plumbing and electricity, except for probably putting together a reverse osmosis system myself and doing some basic fixing, some plumbing under the sink. So it's not that, I can't do these things, if I learn. But guess what? I'm doing it today. My dad is a carpenter on the side, so it runs in my blood. My grandfather is. My mother knows some things. It's in my blood. So so we're making it happen. I just continue to go. I said I'm going to fix that line later, because if I stop and try to fix it now, I'm not going to get anything done. So I continue to trench, learning all about this trencher, how deep I should go and everything, because what you have to know is you have to Google your frost line in your area. How low should you put your pipe below the frost line? Now in Texas, in Houston, Texas at least, as long as you go below 12 inches, you're fine. It doesn't really freeze in Texas that much. So I tried to make sure that I went at least 2 feet deep. Okay, on some areas it might have got a little deeper, but it is what it is. We kind of evened it out eventually with the dirt. Eventually, when we started to lay the pipe, like I said, this whole time I was, eating blackberries. I'm glad, because when you're on land like this, the blessing part is, what grows on your land, whether it be dandelions, whether it's blackberries, whether it's wild this, whether it's wild that. So you got something to survive. But I'll tell you this. Keep in mind here, just a side note, we have a water well, but if you don't have any type of generator on your water well, or any type of generator, whether it be gas or solar, guess what? You're not going to have any water. So we're going to have a video soon about actually, digging the old school well, the one with the well with the pump. I forget what you call it, but we're going to do a video about that soon and see if we can extract some water, just in case there's no gas to actually pump your generator, or hopefully we can actually try to get a solar generator going. So, we're working on all of those things step by step. But yes, I continue here to trench and, just trying to make sure that everything's right. So this is my first time ever renting a trencher. We rented this from a tractor place around the corner. Guys, these things can get pretty expensive. So when you get land, you buy raw, empty land, you have to keep all of these things in mind. You have to keep all of these things in mind. You spend $1,000 here, you spend $300. It depends on how many acres you have. I'll say that. If you're a person that's, one woman or one man, and you're trying to buy 10 acres, if you don't have time to cut it and you're at work all day, you don't have the money to pay someone to cut it. These are all things that you might want to take into consideration. You don't have to get 10 acres. You can get 1 acre, a half an acre, a quarter acre. Now, the only thing about that is just different limitations when it comes to taxes, when it comes to rules, when it comes to what type of dwellings you can put on the land. We didn't want anybody to be able to tell us what to do with our land. So that's why we chose 10 acres. We can shoot on our land. We can put whatever type of dwelling on our land. As long as you have a septic system or, a sewage system. We have a aerobic septic system. So you have to still make sure that you follow the rules and regulations to a certain degree, but there's way less rules and regulations in most counties when you have 10 acres. Okay, so it was a pretty hot day out there, but you have to get out there and make it happen, guys. So we're in a crazy time where the food is high, the gas is high. We're not to get nervous, we're not to move in haste, but we're also not supposed to be fooled. We're supposed to actually still move at a certain pace. We don't want to move in fear, but we do want to move in faith. So anyway, I'm going to go to where I end up having to get down the next day and actually get down here and fix this wire. So the next day I came out, got down here, and the ground is so hard with all of these rocks and stuff. I had to put one of the blankets we had down. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to stress about this. I'm going to lay down and splice this wire. So I got me a blanket because it was just hurting my knees and everything. And I laid down on that dirt, got the splicing kit. And guess what? Me and my wife were a little nervous to make sure, like, hey, I hope this works. You put all of this work in and you glue this thing back together. You you put your electric tape on there. You put your water proof housing on there, and then it doesn't work. You got to get right back down there and do it. That would have been pretty frustrating if it failed. But I'm going to show you that we end up turning the water on, and it actually works. We're going to be showing you a lot of different things that you can do if you have a little sulfur smell in your water, all type of stuff. So here, listen, guys, the beautiful thing about this kit, plug and play. You take out the housing from the wire, and you just put it back in there, you screw it. Simple. So don't be afraid to get down there and do some things yourself, because let me tell you, you can pay somebody for something like this, and they will charge you a few $100 to do something that probably costs you $20 to get all of these materials. The plumber, and listen, I respect these guys and their work. They have to make their money. I respect their hustle. But the plumber was going to charge us at least $6,800 to run the piping and the trench all the way down to, as much feet as we're doing, and to plumb under our house. So it's not that we couldn't have paid it, but we need to spend that money on other things, right? Like tractors and this and that. So we finally got us a tractor, by the way. Praise the Most High, right? To cut some of this thick grass. So these are the things that you have to keep in consideration. If you're gonna need more than a walking lawnmower on that land, make sure you put your money to the side. Make sure you got the right people with you to invest. Not just anybody. People who are going to actually be down for you and be there with you through the thick and thin, following the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High so that you can live on that land with peace. So here, look, right? We're making sure that everything's nice and tight. We're pulling it, making sure everything's nice and tight. Okay? Like I said, that ground was so hot. Every time I went out there to do work, I mean, the sun, I'm not going to say the sun was almost making me faint, but I would go home just drained, still having to go and work out in that same day, right? So now I'm just putting the electric tape. Some people just put electric tape and they don't put any other type of waterproof. As long as you keep enough tape on it, it will be fine. But, my wife was like, you gotta, make sure you put some waterproof on it. I was like, I used to just put electric tape, but you got to be safe here. This is your investment. So we put this, this piece on there, this housing here, and took the torch. We took the torch here, and I just put the tape on the end so that it would not keep coming apart, because this thing was actually getting a little bit frustrating, believe it or not. I'm new to this. Some of you guys are probably masters at this. Like, all you had to do was this. Well, listen, I made it work. I made it work. You understand? And actually, after this, I actually used some leftover tar, some roofing tar, or whatever you call it, to actually put on it to make sure nothing can get in there. Listen, that stuff is straight waterproof. I'm going to tell you right now, it was really hard to get off my hands. So that's what you're going to see. So I use the cardboard so my hands would not get hot while I was squeezing the plastic together or whatever. So you see, that's that tar I put on there. Ain't no water getting up in that thing. And then we covered it up. There you go. There you go. You're not worrying about any rodents or anything getting down there and trying to mess with that line, right? You want it to be strong enough so when you cover it up for years, nothing's going to happen to it, right? So here we're going to go into the rest of guys, putting the pipe. What we're doing here is they wanted to charge us a lot of money for plumbing, or the plumber just couldn't find the land. So what you do is you take matters into your own hand. It's not that I'm a professional plumber. It's also not that I couldn't get down with common sense to learn how to play Lego. It's just plumbing is all about Legos. Find the right parts, put them together, and you make it happen. And if you don't know, you go get a book, you go find in modern day YouTube. So we're coming all the way from our water well, all the way to our mobile home. And that's probably about 300 feet. And then our neighbors, okay, they need to go another 300 feet. And then our next neighbors need to go another 300 feet. And what we're using right now is something called, let me not get it incorrect, poly piping, and it's black. And you have something called PEX, and it comes, I think, in red, white, or blue. Red, I'm learning, is for the heat. So you learn a lot of things as you go. And I like these couplings here. These are called couplings because you couple this pipe to that pipe to make sure that it's secure when the pressure comes. You don't want a weak coupling. Can you use plastic? Yes, you can. But I would rather use steel or metal if I can. And so that's what I'm doing right now. And then once we get to our mobile home, we have to go under the mobile home to connect that to the main line and the water heater. The septic has already been dug, so we're just doing this part. We're not experts, but I said to say, hey, someone who's going to charge us $6,800 to go all the way down there. I understand the frustration of going in and trying to find all of these pieces. I do, but that money for me has to go to other places, so I don't have that money to just give away. Because I've already spent 1,000 here, 1,000 there, 500 here, 600 there, 300 there. Before you know it, guys, you've spent a lot of money. So there's nothing wrong with having knowledge, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. It just takes studying to show yourself approved. Studying to show yourself approved is not only in the Bible. It means study and learn to make sure that you understand, so that, like the scripture says, my people suffer from a lack of knowledge. If you don't have the knowledge, you're going to suffer. You're going to suffer in many different ways, as far as, because you don't know how to do it, you have to pay money. So you're going to suffer paying all your money because you don't know how to do this, because you don't know how to do that. So learning and sharing knowledge is very important, but not also just sharing information, but also trying to do it. Look at those beautiful red jays. You got red jays and blue jays coming out in the morning. And guess what else? While you're doing this work, check it out. Get some of these good old blackberries. Get some of these good old blackberries. You guys, if you're older, you know about this. You put them in a cup with a little sugar. Make a little jam. Make a little pop. I'm gonna get some of my baby. She on the camera. Oh yeah. Let me see if I can find another one. It's just beautiful. Thank you, Father. The reason I like this land, because in a time if there's no food, you got sugar. Yeah, it's beautiful. You just look around everywhere you want to go. You're gonna find them. Anyway, we're gonna start this off. What we're gonna do is, so, well, we got these love bugs flying around. They love us because we love. So we're gonna take our torch and I'm gonna heat it up a little bit. And what this does, melts the plastic. Then you put it in there and you let it cool off, so that it stays nice and tight. We're gonna put our coupling in there. We're gonna heat it up a little bit more. Nice and tight, and you do not, what I learned from watching another guy, a professional plumber who did this, don't tighten it until it's cool. So what I'm going to do, you can take a bag or a glove or whatever, and kind of squeeze it. Cool it down a little bit. And we're gonna just let that cool off by itself. Ooh, that's hot. Gotta be careful. We're gonna let that cool off for probably about 5 minutes, because it acts as like a glue. Okay, and then we'll bring these up and we'll tighten it up and we'll couple it to this. So we'll come back and show you that. So, hey guys, I just put this coupling in here. Now what I did was I tried to fit it in there, but I had to have my wife get off the camera and help me. Not that I couldn't do it by myself, but if you just heat it up with a heat gun or this flame torch or whatever heat source you have, preferably those though, you can just slide it in there very easy. Now I don't know, does it have to go all the way flush? That part I can't remember, but I'll say this, it's in more than enough. So what I'm gonna do is let this cool off for about 10-15 minutes, and then I'll come back and tighten these up. But for now I'm gonna go to the other side and try to finish the other side off. Okay guys, so I'm here. I have on a long sweater because I got bit up by mosquitoes. We were out here in the dark. You couldn't see nothing. I was out here grinding, excuse me, like lions in the dark, hunting, getting money. But anyway, all jokes aside, we just finished off the end of the poly pipe. We just, once again, put a little heat to it so that we can open it up a little bit and so it can kind of lock like a resin or a glue tightly onto this, I wouldn't call this a coupling here, I would call this a cap off. Maybe there's another name in plumbing, but basically that's what you see going on here. This is where the water is going to stop. We put some Teflon tape on here. We tighten it really tight. Okay. Looks like I can go a little tighter. That's moving because this is still kind of drying here. After that, once that's done drying, we're going to come on here and tighten it up with these braces right here. And so what our neighbors will have to do is just come with, because this is 1 1/4 inch poly, they'll just have to come with a coupling, like the same coupling that you just saw earlier. So this is, you know, this is 1 1/4 inch here, but this it gets a little bigger as you go into the cap. So they just have to plug in here, unbrace it, and continue to do the same process as they get to their living or habitable habitations. So anyway, we're going to go and glue the rest of the PVC going to the mobile home. So we'll put a little bit of that on camera for you. Anyway.
Look, can't fall off, 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 can't fall off. Yeah, all about my chain, had to rearrange. Look, yeah, it's going down. Yeah, look, my flesh done drown. By my chain, got out the game. Now I'm in the fade. Can't stop the race. All by my chain. Got out the game. Now I'm in the fade. Can't stop the race. Ooh, look, all by my chain, got out the game. Now I'm in the fade, can't stop the race. All by my chain, got out the game. Now I'm in the fade, can't
demon with a hitter quitter when he try to enter into my temple. Holy Spirit got him froze up. Yeah, it's ridiculous. He even considering why I'm sleeping with pillow. He tried to creep and then I rose up.
Calling out your name, squabbling like Luke Kane. All about my change, but he said he wanna call me back to them flames.
It's a cold world, so I keep a full metal jacket. In my 8K JV, stick a ratchet. Precept, pistol pack and feed them lizards plasma like a pissy mattress, leave a stain on them. Hollow tipping with the scripture, dropping brimstones on them, make it rain on them. Since you wanna strip the pole naked, recompense it to your bosom, keep the change, homie feeling sane, don't it? You don't want your vaccinations and demonic spells, plus your vitamin KILL. Now they mama eat spinach, killing basil, want us to stay frail. Open a jail, open a hill. 2019 year of they tell, we in the 1700s, we ain't make it there. Paid them Uncle Thompson to keep us down, but they failed. Said they made it on the moon, but they ain't make it there. The same time travel, just move the time backwards. That's okay, he left them scriptures in a time capsule. Daniel 7:25 in the 9th chapter. Splicing animals that came up with Tyrannoraptors, giant dinosaurs, like the time of Noah. Isolations with the raw, Moses kinda sore. So Christ changed me like a dressing room inside the store. Looking at me like it's mine or yours, let's get in one accord, like a cool Honda for it.
Why my change got out the gate? Now I'm in the faith, can't stop the race. Oh, by my change got out the game. Now I'm in the faith, can't stop the race.
Some brothers started switched on him. Out the gutter, had to get up out the ditch on him. Huh? My partner's asking why you dipped, homie. Cause I was tired of living the lies, had to get going. Now I'm tiptoeing. See, walking out of Babylon, but I ain't a crib, homie. Sin was on my fingertip like an end growing. Had to clip it, man, the spirit felt the pain growing. It ain't the same, got on my game, now the rain pouring. Calm before the storm, it came, time to brainstorm. Will I change or remain in the same form? I just wanna have my name in the fame written in the book of life. A new brain, trying to be right, I pursue change. Spiritually dropping low, kick on haters, I'm through plain. Head screwed, I'm on, it's not the same how I view things. Ever since I found the path of life, I'm feeling new, man. I peep you haters, I'm too smooth to get breached. Defeat is not an option, I'm on, that's how I'm watching. My spider sense is switching, I can feel the trouble getting close. Come before the storm, you know I got my coat. Man, I hope and I hope for the better days. The hard times has come, evil approach. Got my HK, now my out of scope. So my coat for a sword, cutting demons out of folks. Preaching like a deacon, serving the people, now they know it's a kingdom soon to be. Ain't no time for buffoonery. Taking a deep breath, watch my feet still. Face to face a test with me, I think I need help. Fast pray, the spirit live on. Awaken from the valley of the dry bones. Them haters love to hate it, see them slaves break change. In the race for a reign, call them Jake, they the change.
Oh, why my change got out the gate? Now I'm in the faith, can't stop the race. Oh, by my change got out the game. Now I'm in the faith, can't stop the race.
Hey guys, we did about 400 feet covering lane pipe. It is not easy. I have to get myself a tractor. There's no way around it. Matter of fact, not half of it. I'm going to get myself a tractor. Let's change that word up. Let's speak that into existence. It's gonna happen. Everyone knows me. When I say something, I do it. It never has not been that way, because I serve a true and awesome God. But I gotta do right. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed